Hello, what's up guys? This is Justin Red and today I wanted to talk a little bit about a upsetting thing that's happening right now in World of Warcraft, especially when it comes to bugging M+. And that is meta slaves, guys. Everybody right now, I feel like they care too much about the meta and they don't really care about the players that actually play the game, which is a concerning thing, I should say, since there are a lot of good players that don't play especially meta specs, let's say, or races or stuff like that. People really care about races so much right now when it's actually only important, I would say, if you have one or two dwarfs in timing those Siege of Boralus keys. Maybe it helps. Yes, I know it helps because they can just dispel the last boss, but until the last boss, guys, you still have to clear the dungeon and you still need better players rather than meta specs to do that. So what I mean by this, for my example, let's say right now I'm sitting at 2392, only like 8 rating away for 2.4k, but that's not what what I wanted to talk about. So let's say you see I have this green bottle here that I've done in a +7 with 2 pluses, right? But if I actually want to find a group, let's say for an 8 or a 9, they just won't take me because one, they won't take me because I did not do green battle +8 or +9, which is stupid. I mean, it's like people cry about jobs right now that, oh, this job requires me to already have 5 years of experience, but I just finished college. But this is the same thing, guys. So please, if you are doing this, do not cry about those things. Why I'm saying this? Because as you can see, I mostly timed all the keys to +9. I have a +10 and the green bottle is the only one that's missing for a +9 or above. I'm getting unlucky with my key and I just want to, you know, queue up to one of these keys right here, like a +9, a +8, whatever. They won't take me just because I'm a retribution paladin. And bear in mind, guys, my average parses for M+ are 94 out of 100, and I also have a 4 set and I also have a 636 armor, but just because they watch the internet and they think that Paladin is C tier or whatever and the Retribution Paladin is not good or it's a meme spec or stuff like that, they just do not take you in the groups. I see the same with Protection Paladin. I see the same with Restoration Druid. And from my experience, I actually had better healers, Restoration Druid healers, than Shamans. So how can you find out which is the better player that you can pick instead of picking just the spec? I would suggest that you get Raider.io, and when you post up your key, you should look if that player did the key at least 2 pluses before your plus. So let's say you have a +9 right now. I think I have a +10 City of Threads, right? I have a +10 City of Threads. So what kind of players I'm looking to take to this key to be certain that I will time it? I mean, you can never be 100% certain, of course, but just to have like a better chance to time it. So I'm looking for players that did a +9. That's the most important thing. So you have to have +8, +9. You have to have, I think, in my opinion, the rating as much rating as I have at least. So that's a very good way to think about it, right? And afterwards, I will see if you've done. Maybe I will search you on the logs and I will see if you've done how you managed to do in a couple of keys. And of course, I do not care about the class or spec, but a few things I have to keep in mind, right? I need a Bloodlust. I don't need 2 Retribution Paladins. I mean, this is kind of funny because I started the rant about Retribution Paladins, but it's not only about Retribution Paladins. It's about Feral Druids. It's about what else? It's about Restoration Druids. It's about these other classes that are not really taken into account. Right now, I think Fire Mage is good again, and you can take him if he knows how to play because they got some buffs, and so on and so on. Guys, look, the difference between classes is not that high. I think from S tier, which is like a warrior, to like D tier, which I don't know what is D tier right now. It's around 8 to 10%. It's not that high, guys. It's not that high. You can take every class to a +10. Believe me, you can take every class to a +10, but after +10, because this is what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about +10, right? If you want to go for like rank 1 on your server, stuff like that, okay, then you have to nitpick a little bit. But until +10 and at +10, guys, believe me, you can take every class. You don't need to be a beta slave. You don't need to, oh, I have to pick this, and this. It's more important that you pick classes that fit your dungeon and fit your comp, right? That's the most important thing. So a Retribution Paladin can go great with range and with melees, for example, because you can benefit from the intellect buff as well from a mage. You can also use the buff from shamans, from enhancement shamans, for elemental shamans. You can use like almost everything. You can have a warrior with you, but look, I suggest like for dungeons like Siege of Boralus, you should never pick 4 melees, sorry, because tank is also a melee. So for dungeons like Siege of Boralus, you see I've timed it with 2 pluses here, and believe me, you don't want to have 4 melees or even 3, just because that dungeon is so unfriendly for melees. It's crazy. I don't know why they designed it like this, but it's just crazy. So you should actually start learning the dungeons instead of trying to get carried by the meta specs, guys. If you keep that in mind, and if you do that, I bet you will have better chances of timing your key, because everybody, so think of it like this, everybody is trying that new hot S tier spec, you know, but not everybody is a good player. You still have to check their ratings, you still have to check what they have. So for example, if I say I have a 636 item level weapon, that means I've done at least 5 or 6 timed runs between 9 and 10, right? Between 9 and 15 or whatever. So at least 5 runs. That means I am more than able to time your +8 Green Battle, right? That's what I mean. So I think you should think about which players are you bringing into your parties, and afterwards think about the spec. And also please learn about other classes, because you guys just don't know how much utility a Feral Druid or a Paladin can bring right now. I mean, I don't play Feral Druid, but I can say what Paladin brings. So we bring a combat res. We bring Lay on Hands, which is a 100% heal at, I mean, it's a 5-minute cooldown. Actually, it's not 7 minutes. We have a bubble, we have a Blessing of Protection, and we have crazy off heals because we are playing with the Herald of the Sun talent. Check the logs of the players. It's better than just picking the best classes and the, you know, meta classes, let's say. And this type of gaming is just so boring. I know WoW players like to min-max, but you don't really have to min-max your spec. Just bring the best players instead of the best specs, guys. This is the only thing that I wanted to say. Bring the best players instead of the best specs. Thank you.